Good day, everyone. We are from the House of Kayanan, presenting our informational podcast, Badingkaba, where we talk about anything LGBTQ+.
The goal of our informational campaign is to educate people and raise awareness regarding the current social issue, about the stereotyping of Filipinos in the community.
Our campaign hopes to lessen discrimination and lessen unintentional acts of microaggression towards the community. Our campaign also intends to teach people how to respect the people in the community, especially with regards to their sexual orientation and gender identity. This is your podcast host, Yuta Sua, along with my super witty co-host,
Ana Avalon! Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. In this week's episode, the LGBTQ plus representation in media. We'll be talking about the different shows, how they represent them, and recent issues. So stay tuned, whether in your house, you're in your car, maybe even the bathroom, for this exciting episode.
So, we're finally here sa campus for 2 episodes!
Face-to-face podcast,
Face-to-face,
finally!
Ang dami nating sinet up dito and everything ang sobrang hirap.
At least ngayon, di ba?
Oo.
We finally, in the flesh, in here.
Sana mas ma-enjoy nyo to kasi face-to-face na and stuff. Nagpa-reserve pa kami ng discussion room.
That's right. So, for this week's episode, di ba sinabi ko last week, may pasabog.
Another guest.
Oo. So, ito yung number 1 pasabog. Tapos yung guest namin, yung pangalawang pasabog. So, sino naman itong guest natin?
Sino nga ba? So, introducing our guest, Patty!
Hi,
Patty!
Hello!
Hi, I'm Patty and I'm very excited to be here.
So,
Yun lang.
starting off, first, can you state your full name and a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
I'm Patricia Eliana Brion and I'm a student at LaSalle for senior high and sabihin ko ba what I like? Or what I do? What I do?
What you do, what you like, anything.
Ayun, I study. Kaya I'm here in support for them and all the
So, yes, Patty. Hi, and welcome to the podcast, Badingkaba. We're very excited to have you as our guest. So, ano bang topic natin ngayon, Yuta?
Wait lang, recap muna natin yung last episode.
Oo nga pala, right? I forgot eh. So, ano nga ba ang last episode? Kasi parang medyo hazy na sa akin.
Yeah, last episode we talked about a lot. Umabot nga ata ng halos 2 oras yung episode 2 natin. It was more about the situations where stereotyping happens and the common myths and misconceptions, yung usage ng tomboy in our culture, yung kapag sinasabi nilang being part of the LGBT is just a phase, it's
Or
just
yung
an illness.
yung illness daw na nakikir daw na parang, parang sakit
diba?
daw siya. So,
so we really talked about a lot. So if you're watching this episode for some reason, the 3rd episode, go back to our first or second episode.
First and second.
Kasi pangatlo na to eh.
Oh, pangatlo na siya. 3rd.
milestone.
Yes. So
Pinaghirapan.
May naghirapan.
Oo, sobra.
So, yeah. Sobrang, yung first and second episode namin, it's very insightful. So if you're still new sa community, tas parang medyo hindi mo pa sure kung ano yung mga terminologies na gagamitin, mga topics about it, you can go ahead and watch our episode. It's in the link
Description below.
Like, subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe po.
And follow our social media account.
Yes,
Badingkaba
Badingkaba on both
IG and Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for this week's episode 3, the main topic for this episode, it's just going to be really quick Kasi it's the representation of LGBTQ in media, how they represent it sa mga shows, movies, series, and possibly games, no? So, ano ba yung representation? Like, proper representation helps fight stereotypes, assumptions, ignorance, and misconception. A study conducted by Bond and Compton in 2015 revealed that gay equality is more accepted when represented correctly on TV. When exposed to straight people, they become more accepted of gays. Additionally, a 2020 survey conducted by GLAD and PNG concluded that proper queer representation increased queer acceptance by up to 45%.
Taas.
So like, parang dapat lang talaga na representation in media is like good or parang tama. It's not like over-dramatized or lalo na yung sa mga other circumstances, di ba, na parang they're misinterpreted in a way because it's misleading or it's like false. So representation in media normalized the community's existence, which can contribute to community's awareness and acceptance. These characters' inner lives, struggles, and backstories destigmatized queer existence as it can easily relate to the audience. Queer people need to see themselves properly represented. Proper representation validates their experiences and struggles because it lets them know they are being heard and not alone in the battle. On the contrary, the lack of representation promotes hostility towards queer people. So yun, quite a mouthful of information, but it's, ayun nga, we have this idea naman that media is a powerful tool, right?
Tsaka yung media kasi, di ba, it's a very large network which covers, syempre, yung pinaka well-known is social media, and you know how much social media affects our lives.
It reaches a lot of people.
So, to see representations of the LGBTQ plus community, yung queer people, among the different social media platforms or media itself. So, parang, nakaka-uplifting if you see someone who's like, parang same as you. To see like that. Parang yung relatable siya. Parang how yung di ba, recently yung parang anong Disney movie yung
yun ba yun?
Yun din.
Ariel,
yung
Mermaid.
Ariel yung
Yeah,
Yung title nun.
Finding
Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid where di ba yung previous kasi nung animation siya, si Ariel, she was white. Pero in the live action,
recent live action adaptation,
she's black siya. So, for children na who grew up na nakita siyang white, pero finally a black representation, a black, and then there's Tiana naman, di ba? Pero yun sa live action,
parang may mga nakikita nga ako, yung parang mga wholesome videos
nag-react
of kids. Like
she's like me.
Like the first time they see the trailer, they're parang
heartfelt.
Very heartfelt. So that's the kind of representation that is needed for this type of community, that type of reaction. Kasi diba like most of the time, if you're like not aware of the community, of what you are, who you are, you're going to feel like you're alone.
Yeah, and you're like outcast.
You're outcasted, especially if you're in the environment where it's really heavily culturized by Christianity. While they
stigmatize.
Stigmatize, they oppress the community.
Yes.
So parang mahirap para sa kanila. But so kapag kunwari if they saw that kind of representation in media, they'd feel less excluded and they'd feel more of an inclusion with them, no? Parang really powerful talaga yung media right now. Especially short ko lang, I guess, say share, because our research right now is utilizing film as like to change like certain ideologies, norms. So
that's nice.
yes, so yung film namin, it's they, based on research, parang mas effective daw on shaping ideologies and parang forming the right representation kapag daw parang more nagre-resonate with the viewers. They'd feel like it's going to be more effective if they feel the media being represented well. So kapag kunwari the community, yung kagaya na nga sinabi sa description kanina, the community, if it's represented properly, they see the struggles, yung life experiences, they see that that these people exist and they're real. Ayun, mas magiging maganda yung pag-accept nila sa community.
Na parang it's like normal.
Parang,
Mas manonormalize
really
siya.
see,
At saka
you
parang-
really see it. I mean, you would really see it in your day-to-day life.
Tsaka parang yung idea na, kasi di ba para sa ibang tao yung mga, lalo na yung we talked about the last episode, yung stereotypes nga na nilalagay sa atin. Sa LGBTQ plus community, parang medyo negative nga ang pagkakatingin nila. Di naman negative na super, pero oo, so parang through these representations, yung proper representations,
dapat.
parang it also helps them, yung mga tao na close-minded, to see the queer people in a more normal
Like,
life.
For example, yung like cross-dressing.
Yeah.
Parang like, why were people so...
Parang sobrang pa sila.
Parang medyo icky pala sa kanila. Pero, yun nga. Pati yun sa yung sa drag.
Oo.
I mean, drag is,
Actually, right now, it's getting more
it's getting more
popularized.
So, sana.
Lumalaki na yung drag scene in the Philippines.
Sa atin din. Di ba yung recently with Paolo Ballesteros?
Yeah.
So, moving on, there are like different types of queer representation in media, and some of them are, negative representation. The negative representation happens when queer characters are based on negative stereotypes or consistently portrayed as evil. Ano bang mga examples na alam mong ganun?
Kasi pwede yun sa situations na we talked about stereotypes and misconceptions in our last episode, right? It can happen through that na kapag if they represented the community through those misconceptions and myths. So parang pinopromote pa nila yung
mali.
Side yung mali.
Na kumari if you're part of the it's
Oo.
wrong, you're considered like rebelling.
Oo. Yung pwede rin doon is, well, actually hindi natin siya na pag-usapan last episode na most of the people in the LGBT are promiscuous, or ibig sabihin is parang sorry for the term, I guess, parang
It's okay.
slut or whore kasi parang they're yung parang I guess yung common is kapag daw bakla parang lagi kang hahawakan or something.
Especially
Parang it's okay lang.
especially towards
So,
yung parang naman na ganun yung naiisip nila na kapag gay ka, parang you're
overly sexualized.
Yeah.
That's the term. Like the community, they're looking at it in a wrong lighting.
In a different lighting.
In a different light kasi the community is just body positive and they're just comfortable, but it doesn't mean na parang
they can be
ganun
sexualized.
They're immediately sexualized, and I guess just because of this dominantly Catholic country, parang ganun, masama na agad yung tingin doon, na parang pinag-usapan lang siya, ang sama na agad ng tingin, parang ang dumi-dumi naman yan. Parang, kasi diba, they usually avoid those kinds of topics, even though it's just...
very taboo.
They're taboo, even though it's just human, and it's just normal for us. Ganon mga types of negative representations.
So, now, we'll be looking at the at least LGBTQ plus representations in films. So, For the lesbians, we have Robin Buckley from Stranger Things 2016. Yun naman parang, have you watched Stranger Things?
I'm so uncultured. Like when it comes to watching
Oh my
things.
God. Pero ayun, si Robin, she was openly sharing talaga sa buong, ilang seasons pang Stranger Things? Parang
Tinatawa
3
na
na
ako.
4
na
no?
siya.
Yeah,
Oo.
maglilima na ata.
Yeah, I
or
think,
something.
anong season si Robin nagpakita?
3.
3.
Basta yung yung...
Nasa, sila, mall.
Naging ice cream.
Ayun yun.
Oo, ice
I
cream.
only see like clips.
Ayun. So, meron silang scene doon. Hindi naman siya spoiler. May scene sila ni Steve. Tapos, she openly said na, yung crush niya was, yun nga, she's canonly lesbian kasi both, yun nga! Sinabi niya she likes girls kasi
Yes.
yung crush niya sa first, sa third season, may crush kay Steve. Tapos yung isa naman, nakawa siya. Robin choose me! Anyway, ayun, si Robin Buckley from Stranger Things. The next one, si Joy Wang from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That one I
Yan!
watched.
Ayun.
It made me cry.
Si Joy Wang, she very mother issues film.
Mother issues.
Mother issues, mommy issues film. Ayun, si Joy, she has a girlfriend. Yeah, she's me. Ay, joke lang. Gems. Si Joy, siya, yung parang hindi siya tinatanggap ni, sino yung bida dun?
I forgot the name of them.
Basta si Michelle Yeoh. Si Michelle Yeoh yung actress. Si Michelle Yeoh, yung character niya, she did not accept si Joy na she has a girlfriend. Tapos parang pinapakilala na ni Joy yung girlfriend niya sa family. Pero parang hindi niya,
Parang dinidismiss.
niya, gano'n.
Parang sinasabing, she's a friend.
Yeah, she's a
Like,
friend.
in-introduce niya
So,
as
ayun.
a friend.
Yeah.
Ganun mga types of like positive representation. Like, just going back from to Stranger Things kay Robin. Kasi doon, 'di ba, parang at first di talaga natin siya nahalata. Kasi yung what we'd assume is like mahalata natin yung kapag queer ka or you're lesbian or something.
Yeah, tsaka
And then, kasi doon, 'di ba?
Parang
Yung unang
scene niya.
yung ina-assume ni Steve, si Steve ba yun?
Steve was parang into him. Into Steve. May crush si Robin kay Steve kasi parang medyo good yung chemistry nilang dalawa. So, akala ni Steve na parang pwedeng may spark sila. Pero what he didn't know was that Robin was into girls.
Yeah.
Yan.
And ganun yung mga type kasi parang there are certainly people in the community na hindi yung halata. That they're just like regular people.
So, binibreak ka yung stereotypes na kapag lesbian ka, you should like look masculine, ganon.
Yeah.
So,
Pero mind the setting of the movie din This was like 1980s or something.
which
Basta
was
retro
very,
feels.
sa time pa na yun, parang closeted pa talaga. Hindi pa masyadong open yung mga tao. To think na si Robin, she really came out and said that.
Mabuti yung mga people
Na nasa around her. Tinanggap talaga si Robin.
Tinaccept siya, yeah.
Lalo na si
They're
Steve.
supportive.
Lalo na si Steve. Kasi,
actually, kala ko si Steve that time.
parang
Magiging homophobic.
Ako din! Pero to think that Steve really accepted Robin. Tapos naging platonic soulmates.
Cute,
Which is so
yeah.
good. So, ayun. Moving on to the gay representations. We have Charlie Spring from Heartstopper. I haven't watched this pa.
Ako,
What's
ikaw
the
hindi ko
plot
pa
yun?
mapanood. Recent lang siya.
Yeah, it's recent.
Yeah.
Pero there's a webtoon din, di ba?
It was originally a webtoon na adapted into a Netflix series. It was like very cute. Basta, ano ba masasabi ko?
Nakikita ko yung webtoon minsan. Yung
ako
siya
na
iba
nakikita.
yung
Siya yung...
Yung parang buff yung guy. Buff yung...
Yung Charlie.
Si Charlie. Si Charlie.
Basta may TikTok na parang Charlie.
Si Nick.
Nag-narrate.
Si Nick Nelson yung yung partner niya doon.
Yung buff. Yun yung buff.
Yun yung buff.
Oo.
Yung isa si Charlie, yung a little bit more nerdy,
Thin,
shy type.
medyo thin siya.
More...
Oh yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, diba? Yun. Yun yung,
Watch.
no, yeah, yun. Wala ako iba masabi. Basta just watch the show. It's a good representation, it's a good story.
Tsaka hindi lang ata sila yung queer characters doon.
It's
Yes,
very diverse. Parang,
diverse siya.
may
I
friend group
remember.
kasi si
Sila.
Charlie. May...
Trans din, di ba?
May trans, may pansexual,
Yeah.
may bi ata, I'm not sure. But, yeah, basta they're diverse.
Diverse. And next up, we have Benson Meckler from Kipo.
And The Age of Wonder Beast. It's a cartoon actually.
Ooh.
Dito ako nagugulat sa kapag may representation sa cartoon. Kasi usually, di ba, kapag cartoon, it's like a kid's show.
And they usually avoid topics
Oo.
na ganun. Kasi parang naisip ng tao na baka ma-influence yung
Ay,
mga bata,
oo.
di ba?
Kasi yung parang nagiging issues, I think sa Cartoon Network, kapag magpa-publish sila or magsusupport, gagawa sila ng show, and then mag-hint or magpapasok sila ng LGBT representation, parang usually ina-avoid nila. It's not because, I think it's not because hindi nila support, but it's about the market of it. Kasi it will be shown to a lot of countries.
Kids. Yeah.
As some countries don't accept that. So
Oo.
parang it will be
Iban pa sila dun. no?
iban pa or parang
Magpaka-problem.
baka malugi sila. So
Oo,
in
yeah.
terms of profit din kasi. So ganun yung mga nangyayari usually. Pero kasi etong show kasi na to, ng Kipo and The Age of Wonder Beast, pinalabas siya sa Netflix. So I think mas naging maayos or mas okay doon. Mas naging loose yung restrictions. Kaya they were able to represent it. And ayun din, parang they're also, I think they're teenagers. Like mga 14, ganun. Basta they're young. And basta, wala lang, nung napanood ko kasi, and nung pinanood ko, I was like, nagulat ako and natuwa because there's a representation dun sa cartoon na yun. And I think we should have that more. Ayun nga, representation.
For kids, especially for kids. Kasi
especially for kids nga.
hindi naman sa dapat kino-convince yung kids na parang dapat
Para lang aware.
raise awareness for children.
Na children.
Kasi, yun nga, di ba nga, sinabi natin na as a young kid, as children, parang naka-default na sa kanila agad na ang tama yung pagiging straight. And that's like,
na parang girl and boy lang dapat yung pwede
black
maging
and white.
couple.
So you can only be a girl
Yeah.
or
A boy.
a boy.
Yeah.
so,
So the next one is
Bart Allen or Kid Flash from Young Justice 2012. Bart
It's-
Allen. Sorry.
It's also actually hindi ko rin siya napanood pero
I watched
Paano
Flash,
na
pero hindi ko kilala pa si Bart.
eto ata yung
Ano si Barry?
Kid Flash eh. Ito yung anak ni The Flash.
Tama ba yun?
Allen kasi
Allen is Barry Allen tapos
Barry
Allen yung si Flash.
Yung original
Flash. Yeah.
Tapos yung anak niya, ito Bart Allen.
Oo.
Young Justice. So syempre, yung anak ng mga original Justice League.
Okay.
Wala ako ibang masabi.
Ako din wala din ako masabi.
Example.
Tapos yung next is George from She-Ra.
Shira and the Princess of
Power.
Oh, I watched
Have you
that.
watched
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, yung Shira. Pero I don't really remember now. Kasi I was
Medyo
so...
matagal na rin siya
Oo.
eh. Nakikita ko rin siya.
Ako din nakikita ko
I
rin
was
siya.
also intrigued by it. Pero I never got
But
the...
it's very... It's nice.
Very
Yung
nice.
pagkaano din.
It's more on ano din, di ba? Parang women representation.
Oh,
yeah,
Empowering
yeah.
women din. So I think, ayun, yeah. Cartoon din siya. And sa Netflix.
Sa Netflix
Sa
na pwede nga
Netflix.
siya.
So ayun,
There's-
Netflix.
go watch.
Go
One.
Netflix,
Yeah.
go.
Oo.
Support lang yung mga ganung cartoons.
Sunod is the bisexuals. And the first, we have Marceline from Adventure Time.
Actually, di ko alam yun.
Si Marceline kasi, di ba, she mentioned na she had a boyfriend
Ay,
before.
okay.
Di ba, nagpakita pa nga siya, pero hindi ko maalala kung ano episode. Pero naalala ko, meron nga siyang boyfriend. Tapos, ang current team partner niya ngayon, si Princess Bubblegum!
Ayun,
Diba?
yes.
It was so nice kasi nakikita ko talaga may chemistry sila. The first episode, yung you kept the shirt I gave you. Oh my God! Yun talaga yung parang, there's something
Okay.
there.
Actually,
Tapos sa final episode.
Oo, nag-kiss sila sa final episode. myself, which is so good.
Actually,
Yeah.
yun, hindi ko alam kung
Na?
paano na pull off ng Cartoon Network yun. Kasi
It was
they
so
were
na-
hinting,
it was so-
they were hinting it from
From the very start
from the
pa
very
lang,
start
which
na.
hindi mo alam pala na may history pala silang dalawa. Di ba may sarili silang ngayon, yung movie nilang dalawa. Movie ba yun?
Parang
Spin-off.
Spin-off. Oo, silang dalawa.
Canon siya, pero spin-off in a way.
Oo.
Parang after the series.
After,
This is
pero
what happened.
after the series siya, pero pinag-usapan
Yung before.
yung ano
Oo,
nila,
situation
past
nila
nilang
dati.
dalawa, kung bakit parang medyo off yung relationship nila
Oo,
dati.
parang enemies to lovers.
Enemies to lovers. So, si Marceline, ayun, si Marceline, she's bi. Next up, we have Nicholas Nelson from Heartstopper again. Yun si Nick.
Yun yung partner ni Charlie Spring. He's bisexual, and ayun, the representation in Heartstopper is yun nga, really good because mostly it was centered around the relationship between Charlie and Nick, pero yung pinaka informational doon, I guess, is yung representation of how
Si Nick.
how Nick discovered his bisexuality.
Ah.
Because he was really confused na parang, I like girls but I also like boys. So, parang,
Di ba may scene siya yung nag-search pa
Oo,
siya,
nagsa-search
tapos umiyak siya, tapos ayun yung scene na very relatable to some kasi yung pagiging confused mo sa sexuality mo na parang sa sarili mo hindi mo talaga alam kung ano ba talagang gusto mo, kung anong gusto mo maging.
especially when you don't know like the term, the labels, or like yung how you would identify yourself. Parang hindi ka talaga ma-confuse sa sarili mo. Yeah.
So, next up, we have Sarah Land from Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. Kilala mo ba siya? Kasi ako, pinanood. Oo, pinanood ko siya. Si Sarah Lance.
Ito yung di ba? Series to.
Series siya.
Hindi siya yung cartoon.
Hindi siya cartoon. Si Sarah Lance, siya yung nagkaroon sila ng sige, sa DC kasi siya eh.
Oo, napanood ko kasi yung Flash.
Oo, nagpakita siya doon.
Tapos, basta they're crossovering
nagka-crossover kasi ang DC, live action nila.
Oo.
So, ayun, si Sarah Lance, yung boyfriend niya, si Oliver Queen. Tapos, nagkaroon siya ng nagkaroon siya ng maraming relationships with men and women both. So, yun. So, parang open talaga siya sa show na yun, na, bisexual siya.
Yes.
Ayun. Next up, we have Luz Noceda from Owl House.
It's another
cartoon.
Yes,
it's
cartoon.
another cartoon, yeah. And basta, it doesn't really focus much on the struggle of like sexuality kasi at the start alam na agad yung sexuality
niya. Which is
sexuality, yeah.
Yung yun nga, hindi naman siya ginawang big deal.
Oo, hindi siya ginawang big deal, yeah. And
parang normal information about them, regular.
Yeah. I guess what I appreciate about that show is how they openly express it, yeah. And kasi si Luz Noceda, may girlfriend siya dun sa show. And they're like official.
Okay.
And they're like, may mga scenes sila na sweet, ganon. Basta yun, they're official. And it's good. It's a good show then. Yes.
So, next, anong susunod natin, Yuta?
We have transgenders. Our first character is Mahyon, he, from
Itaewon class. So, Mayoni.
class.
So, si Mayoni from Itaewon class. Ako napanood ko siya.
Ikaw.
Kasi yung actress niya, tama ba yung term na to? Pero kasi siya, androgynous siya tingnan. So, siya, like, di ba kalala mo? Ay, hindi ko alam kung ano. Alam niya yung nagiging bokju. Yung short hair na girl. Oo. Yeah, yung bangsa na. Hindi. Yung friend niya na black hair doon. Yun. Siya yung actress din doon. Tapos, since androgynous nga siya tignan, I think, ginawa nilang chance to let her act as a transgender. Kasi nung una, pinakalala siya sa guy. Tapos, parang may scene siya doon na talaga siya, transition? Oo. I mean, I'm not sure, please correct me na lang sa mga napanood. Pero, yeah, open din siya na transgender din kasi pinakita talaga yung pag-transition niya.
Yung process.
Hindi naman process.
Yung parang, hindi ko sure. Never mind.
Basta, ganun. Parang ganun din.
Transition
Talaga. Next
Next one is Hika. Hikari Kuina from Alice in Borderland.
Yan ba? Napanood mo din?
Ayoko napanood ko yan.
Oo. Yun din. Ano siya, pinakita din sa show na yun. Ang ganda ng Alice in Wonderland. You should watch it. Sobrang ganda niya.
It's like,
Pero ano siya, diba? Medyo dystopian na...
Medyo.
Psychological thriller na
Tsaka-
parang Squid Game.
But better. No offense. Pero I highly recommend Alice in Borderland. Sobrang galing niya. Tapos si Hikari Kuina. Sobrang galing ganda ng story niya kasi parang she was raised in a very strict household. Kasi siya eh, kendo ba yung sport na yun? Dojo.
Basta parang martial arts.
Martial arts siya. Tapos parang hindi siya, parang yung tatay niya hindi siya ina-accept nung una. Tapos yun, pinakita na nag-transition siya. Tapos yun, sobrang ganda niya.
Yeah, but so there was like that backstory.
May backstory siya.
Kaya pala parang even as a transgender, she was very, combatic. Athletic.
Athletic siya.
Athletic and basta magaling siya mag-fight. Ayun, hand-to-hand fight. So yun yung parang backstory niya. It's cool. So the next one is Victor Hargreaves from Umbrella Academy.
Yan, Panty, have you watched that?
Iba-ibang episode.
It was so cool. Hindi
Ang
ko siya
galing.
in-expect.
Ako din, sobrang nagulat ako kasi yung huling season nila, si Victor, pa siya, before, hindi pa siya nagta-transition nun. He was still Vanya. Pero, tapos nung nag-open sila with their new season, pinakita yung, kasi di ba parang nung huli, parang pinapakita na may partner siya na girl doon.
Yeah, actually.
So parang dun yun yung ginawa nilang
parang, parang...
Hinihint na yung sa, niya, gender and sexuality niya. Ay, gender muna. The gender niya. Tapos, yun, dun siya nag-transition. Tapos, ang ganda nung pagkakapakita nila. Represent nila ng transitioning. Kasi, hindi nila ginawang big deal. Tapos, parang, inaccept lang siya. Parang, sabi niya, tinanong kung, nagbago lang kasi siya, yung look niya. Tapos, parang, it's cool.
Parang
ayun, regular lang.
I kind of remember that scene na parang he first introduced
himself as Victor.
Na parang tinanong siya, why do you look like that?
Tapos parang kabado pa siya.
Vanya, why do you look like that? It's Victor now.
It's Victor now. Tapos, that's cool.
Parang normal. Parang okay.
Sobrang ganda. Another highly recommend.
Yeah, yung intriguing, yung interesting doon kasi it came along with the actors.
The actors transition ng actor. And, so everyone was like wondering how they were going to show that sa show. Pakita sa show.
Incorporate?
Incorporate
Yes.
that sa show. Kasi, yun nga, nag-transition din sino yan?
Si
actor ni
Elliot
Victor.
Page, yun.
Parang una ko siya nakita like as a news article na magta-transition daw siya. I was like, interesting. Di paano yung show? Tapos nalaman ko rin sa article na pati din pala yung character niya magta-transition.
Diba? Magaling.
And based from what I watched naman, ang cool nung
maganda yung representation
Yes.
talaga ng transitioning dun sa film. Last one
is queer. The first one is Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time.
Ayun. Like we've mentioned earlier.
Sila ni Marcel.
Saka parang si Bubblegum parang hindi naman sinabi talaga or parang other than
hindi siya wala siyang specific label, diba?
Wala siyang specific label. And parang other than Marceline, wala naman ata siyang nagkaroon relationships.
Parang kahit naging love interest niya si Fade doon.
Oo. Parang hindi. Parang
or one-sided lang ba yun?
One-sided lang.
One-sided
lang talaga yun. Ayun. So that wraps up our... Ay, hindi pa pala. May pa pala si Yuta.
A short lang, just to talk about like, recently, parang nag-boom din yung representation dito, lalo na in the Philippine setting ng ganitong type of media. Because in the pandemic, 2020, of course, 2020, na-popularize yung mga BL series, lalo na sa YouTube. And yung isa sa mga sikat doon is yung Game Boys. May idea ba kayo doon? Nasa Netflix din siya eh. Basta yun, nasa Netflix na siya. And it was really successful. And it came with other BL series. So, sobrang dami ng BL series ngayon. May mga iba, gaya sa pelikula,
yun, naririnig ko.
Quarantine Things, Sakristan, My Extraordinary, Ben X Gym, Boys Lockdown, Lakan. Ang sobrang dami. Parang, it's produced by... sobrang dami. Basta, they're starting to produce those type of shows. And it's really nice din.
But it's good to see that they're
branching out.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to add na dumadami din syempre ang GL. Tapos, ang pinaka-favorite ko yung
yung ano?
I mean, hindi naman siya
yung hindi.
Yun nga eh.
Hindi ko napanood.
Hindi namin alam kung pwedeng sabihin, pero yun nga yung The Handmaiden. Yun, The Handmaiden. The Handmaiden. Tapos, meron din yung
pero hindi ko napanood.
Hindi ko pa siya napapanood, pero narinig ko sa friend ko maganda daw. Tsaka yung Portrait of a Girl on Fire. Tapos yung sa anime naman, you have Bloom Into You. Yung Asaga Otokase-san. Ganon! Ganon. Nasa ang dami na ngayon. Tapos ngayon may parang, may mga Korean series din. Considering Korea is a very conservative country, meron na rin silang mga bagong GL din. So yun, just going to recommend
The
na...
Handmaiden is Korean. Though.
Yeah, The Handmaiden is Korean. Si yung sa 20... So yan, si Kang Peri siya nga. Yun. So yun, recommend ko din that GL is also... there's also GL representation if you wanna watch yung mga sapphic films, marami din dyan. So yun.
Sana lang, since ngayon kasi sobrang, there's like kind of a surplus of BL stories na dito sa Philippines.
Ay, meron din.
Pero merong isa, which is popular, and kasama siya sa Game Boys. Yung Game Boys kasi, may representation din doon ng GL or something, which para siyang spin-off ng Game Boys. It's titled Pearl Next Door. Basta yun yung isang representation lang ng GL na alam ko currently, and yung iba parang kinda old na.
Yeah, since like dumadami na din yung mga films, medyo na din yung mga issues like surrounding those. Mas rampant.
Di ba may recent...
Right.
Di ba may recent issue kay Kit Connor? Kit Connor's yung actor
kay... sa Heartstopper.
Kay Nick Nelson. So yun, di ba ko yung doon?
Oo.
Si Utahi knows something about that.
I first saw it on Twitter.
Ikaw ba, Patty?
Sa Twitter.
The Twitter ko din siya nakita.
So, kasi, actor Kit Nelson. Actor Kit Connor, who plays Nick Nelson in the Netflix film Heartstopper, forced to come out as a bisexual. So, yung mga viewers, watchers ng mismong film ng Heartstopper, finorse daw siya mag-come out. On October 31, the 18-year-old felt forced to share his sexual orientation due to accusations of queerbaiting in Twitter. The boy wrote on Twitter, open quote, "Back for a minute, I'm bi. Congrats for forcing an 18-year-old to out himself. I think some of you missed the point of the show. Bye."
Dramatic effect.
His co-star and others showed support and love to the boy.
Kasi, outing someone is not cool. And also, yung pag-a-assume nyo. I mean, assuming is also wrong.
Assuming like someone's sexuality.
Queerbait daw kasi siya.
Kasi, he was, ang rinig ko please correct me na lang din, ang narinig ko, he was seen with the girl, tapos yun nga, parang, ano daw eh,
Yeah, ang parang mali doon.
Yung
inassume nila na kasama niya yung girl. Straight na agad.
Tsaka ni-label na agad nila na
na mag-jowa.
Or yung yung sexuality, may idea na agad sila kung na ganito dapat siya, na queer siya. I mean,
dapat like, he should only like boys.
He should only like boys, ganun.
And I think it's wrong because there should be like a separation between
film
the actor and the
character.
Like yung actor pati yung character. Kasi hindi naman sila same.
Kasi hiwalay talaga yung like, they only play as the character. But Bart, sino si Bart? Pero hindi sila yung character itself. So yun. So they should accept parang paghiwalay niyo yung idea niyo, ay yung kakilala niyo, parang siya, separate personality.
Person.
Ibang tao sila.
It's fictional naman kasi. It's different from reality, which is the life of the actual actor.
Yeah. So yun. So, Kit Connor, my bad man. Ay, speaking of celebrities na nasa LGBTQ plus community, meron din tayo in the Philippines. We also have queer people in the entertainment industry, like si Vice Ganda.
Yeah.
Di ba si Vice Ganda kinasal siya ngayon to her boyfriend?
I'm not aware.
Sige, yun si Vice Ganda. Si Boy Bunda, si si Boy Bunda.
Famous comedian.
Yung mga
question.
hot seat.
Hot seat. Ano yung tawag doon?
Hindi ko alam kasi speed question sila na.
Speed question.
Sige, hindi ako magme-mention. Si Alden kasi naalala ko eh. Tapos si Ice Sigera. Di ba siya si sige. Bawal, dead name. Tama ba? Staff. Tama ba?
Nagka-thumbs up sila.
I don't wanna mention magbalik ka ng dead name. So, next we have Mimi.
Nag-transition ba siya?
Yes.
Okay. Ayun yung term. Kasi kapag dead name, it's like...
Yun yung dating
name before mag-transition.
Yeah.
So, for example, yung kay Vanya sa Umbrella Academy, that was his
dead name. Before transitioning. So, Vanya siya.
So, ngayon, Victor na siya.
So,
dead name ni
Vanya.
And it's very respectful if you use the current ones they're using. Hindi na don't call them by their dead names na kasi they're not usually comfortable with that. Okay? So, yun. Next up, the most famous Mimi Yang. Ayun. Tas I'm not familiar with Mark Bautista. Pero yun. Pero si Jake Cyrus, we all know that. Again, yung dead name, pinatawag pa rin siya, especially with the older generation. I mean, hindi ko naman sila kasi dun sila, nasanayan nila yun eh. Pero still, yun nga, dead name pa rin yung kakilala sa kanya. Next, we have Raymond Gutierrez. Again, I'm not really familiar. Si Monique Wilson, she's lesbian daw. Pero I'm not really familiar with it.
Hindi ba sila yung
Saan?
Hindi ba ito Gutierrez? Yung Keeping Up with the... Same ba siya?
With the Kardashians?
No! They have their own show din. Yung mga Gutierrez.
Keeping Up with the Gutierrez.
No naman. I forgot. Pero yeah.
Basta yun.
Sila ba yun? Alam mo yung The Vampire Show na ABS-CBN.
Alam ko yun, yung may kalbo.
Oo, yung kapatid, siya yata yun yung kapatid niya, yung Raymond. I'm not so sure siya yun.
Yung basketball player yung kalbo, di ba? Ay, sorry! Hindi ko familiar.
Hindi rin ako aware sa
That's, I think, Monique. Oh, no, that's wrong. Monique Wilson. That's George Wilson.
And, okay, next we have Paolo Ballesteros, which we all know na naman. Di ba saan na siya?
Drag Race.
Huh?
Drag Race.
Yeah, Drag Race.
Ay, yun
Siya yung
siya yung
guest
nasa-
ba yun or judge siya?
Judge yata.
Siya rin di ba yung sa Itbulaga?
Siya yung sa Itbulaga yung kasama ng
Oo.
dalawang kalbun.
Palagi kalbo yun.
Sorry!
Okay.
Si yung parang si Upin at Ipi.
Ay, actually, oo.
Oo!
Like, they always come in pairs, di
Oo,
ba?
kasama nila si bossing nila si Vic Soto.
Oo.
Vic ba yun? Si
Oo,
Vic ba yun?
Vic.
Si Vic Soto.
Hindi ko nakalimutan
Hindi ko
yung
wala si
pangalan.
Willie, pati si... Hindi ko wala.
Okay.
Ayun, si Paolo. Ang cool. Yung movie niya, yung Die Beautiful ba yun? Yun, Die Beautiful. Yun, basta alam ko, Die Beautiful is another LGBTQ plus film. So, you should go watch it. Kasi siya, drag queen, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have BJ Pascual and Alex Diaz, which, again, I'm not really familiar with. Sorry, I'm not really familiar. Ikaw ba, Pati, do you know?
Hindi ko din alam. Baka may masabi pa ako. Kasi
Masabi
pala
pa
hindi
ako.
sila yun.
Okay.
Sorry po.
So, last episode, hindi pala last episode, nung very first episode, si Yuta ang nagbasa ng LGBTQ plus stories from you guys.
Yes.
Yes. Tapos, ngayon, last episode naman, kinalahati natin siya. Ako yung nagkwento ng iba kasi
Nagka-internet problems ako
internet problem siya. So,
Ngayon,
wala na problem.
Walang internet problem.
Oo,
dito.
nagtino tayo. So, ngayon naman, since last episode na siya, and like, third is like, magical,
Yeah.
gawa na.
Magical
Three is a lucky
number.
charm. Third time
Third
lucky
time's the charm.
So, now we have Patty
To read the
to read the
stories.
stories.
Yun yung dahilan kung bakit
So,
nahigugulo.
so babasahin na rin namin siya lahat ng submissions.
Lahat ng submissions
Ang
nyo.
interesting lahat. I swear. Sa
But
mga
No, yung episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go
Whoa.
ahead.
Episode 3 submissions.
Okay, I'll start.
Okay, I'm reading, Patty.
Ako lang yung bading sa friend group namin. Tas alam nila na bading ako. And supportive naman sila nung sinasabihan ko sila. Pero, kapag ini-erase nila yung sexuality ko, pag-usapang reto. So,
Ganon.
yeah. Ganon din yun yung sabi niya. Like, lagi sinasabi sa akin na hahanapan ako ng pogi. Tapos sasabihin ko na gusto ko din naman ng maganda. Pero i-brush off lang nila. Parang nagjo-joke ako. Gusto ko din ng girlfriend.
Uy.
From
sa
anonymous
submission-
sender.
Sa submission, ito parang hindi niya sinabi
Parang
openly.
siguro, yeah.
Yung,
Hindi, alam.
dito naman.
Alam ni
Ay, sinabi ba?
Like a Discord.
Alam
Ayan.
ng friends
Alam
niya.
ng friends,
Oo,
pero,
pero
binabrush off lang.
Binabrush off lang.
Yeah.
So,
Parang
like,
hindi yun na
oo.
consider.
Ay, hindi niya explicitly sinabi. Yung dito, sa submission niya. Ay, okay.
Alam naman nila.
Sinabi
Pero
na
alam
ata.
ng friends
niya. So, yun yung medyo lang. Parang,
Sorry,
May
Yuda,
Kasi
sino
Yuda.
yan? Yuda.
Katext ko niyo
Si Sir.
So, ayun. Parang lang, you should respect yung preferences din ng friends niyo.
Parang,
Kasi,
well,
Okay
hindi
lang
naman sa
naman.
parang dinedisrespect nila. Pero I think parang it's like an internalized homophobia. Kasi
Homophobia.
parang inaano nila.
Dinidisregard.
Dinidisregard,
Oo.
ini-ignore. But parang at the same time, it's not necessarily their fault. Pero as a friend siguro, parang
Ma-hurt
parang hindi ko yung
ma-hurt ka
supportive
talaga.
sa ano ko.
Ma-hurt ka din eh.
Oo.
So, as a friend, yung advice namin sa inyo, you should really,
Look
be...
for better friends.
Hindi naman!
Siguro.
Ati ah.
I'm joking na. Huwag niyo po kayo
So, ano pwedeng advice ibigay mo, Patty?
Siguro,
I mean, hindi naman kasi siya parang seriously na malalang situation.
Oo.
Parang ano lang,
I guess,
light advice. Very
Oo.
light
just keep
advice.
on,
Just
Just continue.
communicate with them.
Yeah.
you have to communicate. Pati, continue mo lang.
Oo. Like,
Yung-
parang sabihin mo, just so we're clear, ganito ako,
Oo,
ganyan. Para,
Para, wala.
baka kasi iniiwasan talaga nila.
Oo, na the topic na.
So, yun.
Yeah.
It's better to be vocal
Mhm.
and communicate. Kesa naman magkaroon na ng, pag lumaki pa yan, Ayun.
Baka maghanap pa kayo ng ibang friends.
So,
Oo.
di ba?
Magkakaroon pa. Ay.
If you don't want to make it a bigger thing and you really treasure your friends, communicate with them.
Correct.
Ayun.
Communication is important.
Next,
Okay.
Patty. I'm ready.
From anonymous sender number 2. Gay awakening ko, best friend ko. Kasi naging super close kami nung pandemic. Like, magka-call everyday and pag nag-uusap, parang mag-jowa. Tapos nagulat na lang ako, nagsiselos ako kasi may kausap siya na iba. Haha, straight siya though. Kaya Alexa, play If My Wishes Come True. Came true pala. It would have been you. Ang
Okay.
sato.
No comment. Joke lang!
Bakit?
Stay strong, anonymous sender number.
Sabi na eh, mahirap talaga pag
Unrequited love.
Tapos lala, friend? Best
Yeah,
friend?
parang ano tayo?
Malilito ko talaga dyan. Lalo na pag bading ba.
And
Pre, ang hirap
pati
maging...
in any situation naman.
Oh,
It's
oh.
Frustrating.
Pero ano kaya, mas masakit, mas mahirap kapag queer ka talaga. Tapos sa best friend mo pa na hindi mo sure kung
anong
straight ba.
orientation
O
niya.
kung anong orientation niya. Kasi, you know, the yearning, the ano,
Yearning. Grabe sa yearning.
the yearning, the angst, it's all there. Tsaka
Slow burn, slow
Oo,
burn.
slow burn. Tsaka din mo yung sinabi dito na ano daw, para silang magjowa. Man, I feel you. Ay, hindi Wait lang, hindi. Sinasabi ko lang relatable siya. So,
Okay.
pat
Okay.
on the back.
Noted.
Okay.
Ano, ang sabihin ko, yun ba yung hinasabi nilang,
Ang
wish
cute
I
ng
was,
ears.
thank you, yun yung wish I was Heather. Okay.
Okay, from anonymous caller 3, medyo mahaba-haba to.
Yun. Oh my gosh, ang haba nga.
Hi,
Yeah.
I've been talking to this girl for a year and I recently confessed to her around 2 months ago. She liked me for over 3 years now and I was aware of it. It took me some time to reciprocate her feelings, pero we're doing fine naman in the present. I'm courting her and she's also courting me. We're planning to take it to the next level siguro in a year or so. Now, she told me na during the last few months, she's actually planning to move on and get over her feelings with me.
Bro,
But then, I confessed and here we are. Oh, so...
Okay, hindi pa sila
Yung una kasi,
parang-
yung girl lang yung nag-confess sa kanya. Tapos, kasi hindi pa siya sure sa feelings niya.
Tapos nag-confess
Tapos
sa
nung
douche.
parang nag-process na and something.
Oh my gosh, ako na pala! Dapat hindi pala ako nagbabasa.
Kung gusto mo, pa din naman ako magbasa. Pero
Hindi
mamaya,
naman.
next
Oh.
time.
No, Patty's turn
Yeah.
Ay, sorry.
yan.
Okay, sorry.
Our relationship is going well and I think
Yeah.
I really found my match. The thing is, she told me na nung mga nakarang araw, medyo nawawalan uli ng sparks. Yung feelings niya for me. I already knew something was up and she told me, and what she told me confirmed it. Apparently, it's because super comfy na daw siya sa akin or pagod lang siya or sobrang tagal na nga niyang may feelings sa akin. One of the three. After talking it out with her, I realized na sobrang magkaiba kami ng trip sa relationship. Like, she likes spontaneity and easily gets bored. Me, on the other hand, is quite low maintenance and just needs consistency. She is consistent and is enough for me, but I think I need to level up my game. So, what should I do to lighten up and bring back the spark in our relationship? She has also been asking me for lambing, but I don't know anything apart from sending memes, updates, good morning, good night messages, ideas for online lambing. P.S. She loves to send me spontaneous cute messages throughout the day, and I do the same. We can't have unplanned dates because she needs her parents' permission at least 3 days before going, and we're not out to the fam yet.
Grabe naman.
May sabihin ako.
Bakit naman nag-ask kayo ng
May
love
sasabihin.
advice?
Ako, may sasabihin ako. I have experience with... Ako wait lang. Hindi ako Ako ang hiningan din ng advice, pero hindi
okay.
ako. Tapos ganyan na
Okay.
ganyan
Anong
talaga yung
masasabi
situation
mo?
nila.
Kala
Kasi,
ko.
kasi di ba partner sila. So, yung isa daw, yung girl one, yung girl na una nag-confess dun sa kwento. Ano daw, parang, siya kailangan niya ng lambing. Tama ba?
Parang medyo high maintenance.
High maintenance siya.
High
Tapos
maintenance
kailangan yung parang binibigyan talaga ng attention.
Oo.
Gano'n. Tapos yung isa naman is like chill.
More chill.
Oo.
Oo.
So, ganyan talaga yung yung kakilala ko, ganyan yung situation nila na pumunta pa talaga yung tao sa akin, yung partner niya, para manghinga ng advice kasi yung kakilala ko, chill nga lang siya. Tapos yung girl yung medyo high maintenance. Pero ano naman, parang ang advice ko talaga dyan, ang relationships kasi give and take siya And dapat balansin yung isa't isa. Tsaka parang kung hindi naman lagi sa relationship, hindi naman lagi may spark yun eh. Tama ba mga staff namin dyan?
Oo
mga staff namin dyan. Tsaka kasi, yung masasabi ko, pag kailangan hindi ko pala masabi kasi hindi ko alam. NBSB. NBSB. No boy. Hindi B. No R. SB. No relationship since birth. Mga lang, hindi ko masabi. School project po to. After talking it out with her, I realized na sobrang magkaiba kami ng trip sa relationship.
Yeah.
She likes spontaneity.
Tapos
She gets bored. Tapos siya, yung nag-send, chill lang siya. Tapos kailangan na ng consistent. Tapos consistent naman yung girl, pero I think I need to level up my game. Okay, so kailangan daw.
I find it very sweet.
Sweet. Kasi, nag-a-ask nga siya. So, yung the very fact na nanghihingi ka ng advice kasi you want to make up to parang, kasi nga yung GF, di ba? Yung GF parang, GF ba tawag ba dapat? Partner na lang. Partner. Yun. So,
Hindi naman din stated so
appropriate. Tapos, ayun, parang, I think you just need to spend more time with each other. Yun ang
mag-usap kayo.
Usap kayo, communicate. I mean, nag-communicate sila eh. I guess. Sorry! Kasi, siguro,
relish in each other's
love.
Parang,
I think nagko-communicate naman sila eh. Alam niya yung gusto niya.
alam din ng
Pero I feel like parang,
tapos matagal na rin naman silang magkakilala.
Matagal na eh.
So I guess,
parang appreciate na
lambing daw hinihingi niya. Paano daw maglambing?
Paano daw mag-online lambing?
Hindi ko na.
Online lambing daw.
Kumain ka na ba?
Nga daw yun eh. Mga updates. Bare minimum na yun.
Bare minimum yun.
Alam nyo, ang pinaka para matouch ang partners when you give them something handmade or ikaw talaga gumawa. Kasi yung
it shows na parang you took the time off to make it.
Tsaka effort talaga. Effort ang gusto talagang makita ng mga tao. Tsaka ayun yung ginagawa ko dati pag trip ko naman. If you have like, artistic skills or kahit wala kang mga artistic skills, kung saan ka magaling.
Kahit wala kang artistic skills, mas cute yun eh.
Hindi, mas cute. Kung hindi ka marunong, pero nag-effort ka.
Diba?
Try mo. Pwede ka magpadala ng cookies, ng mga flowers, gano'n.
Tapos kahit hindi masarap
yung stuff daw namin.
yung na-bake.
Promote daw natin yung stuff natin sa flower. Lilink namin yung description. It's a description below. Yung if you wanna
express your love
through flower.
Yes. One of our staff has this business. Pwede mo yun.
Carmellena.
Link it so bale. Ayan siya! Ang cute niya. So ayun, bale, ang pinaka-overall tawag advice namin is effort. Kasi kailangan parehas kayo nag-effort para hindi magmukhang kulang yung isa. Tsaka, wag tayong mag-measure nung parang pagbibigay ng pagmamahal sa isa't isa. Kasi iba-iba kayo eh. Hindi naman kailangan same na kung ganito siya magpakita ng love niya.
Different people have different love languages.
Different languages. Love.
I mean, like, I guess try mo lang, like, 11.
Hindi naman try 11. Parang
relish yung
magkasama sila. Tsaka, mag-try nilang mag-do ng something fun.
Get to know each other's love languages.
Love languages.
Kasi diba tinatanong na niya din if kung kailangan niya daw ba i-level up yung yung mga ginagawa niya. I mean, I guess
I feel like you should ask your partner
kung ano pang hindi naman, ano pong pwede mo
Minsan
gawin?
kasi kapag tinanong, sasabihin,
Baka magtampo ka.
hindi, parang dapat alam niya or something,
Oo.
or dapat ikaw yung
Pero
unang
Communication.
Communication kasi. You can't assume
I mean,
naman.
depende din naman sa relationship.
Yeah.
If your partner openly is vocal about what she wants, edi gawin mo yon, try mo. No?
Ba't naging relationship na tayo? Okay.
Sorry, mga experiences.
Wala kaming mga...
Wala kami. Kami ni Patty, wala kami. Si Yuta din wala din.
Kung more spontaneous yung gusto niya, edi bigla ka magpadala ng food or whatever.
Ayan, spontaneous.
Tsaka try something fun na parang, halimbawa, di pa kayo nagde-date, mag-date kayo na parang, yung mga magagandang activity.
Ano daw kasi, kailangan daw alam ng
online.
parents
Edi
3
pa
days before or
Kunwari,
dapat online
edi
daw.
magpaalam ka sa
Paala, sabihin mo
before.
just a friend.
Ikaw
That's idol hindi naman sa bawal na, hindi naman sa kinakahiya. Pero since hindi pa kasi kayo ready or hindi pa kayo, ang takot pa kayo sa pamilya, i-low-key nyo lang muna ng gano'n. Alam niyo sa yung kay attorney, yung extraordinary attorney, yung episode nila na may, yung lesbian couple na kinakilala na friend, tas tagal-tagal na yung pala sila pala. Oo. So, ganun, di ba? If you wanna be low-key, friend ang pakilala mo. Pero syempre, wag ikakaya ang partner. Yun ang pinaka Kasi you don't want to make them feel na parang sila tinatagong sa kabet. Hindi naman kabet, parang
Side chick.
it's
Side
good.
ano.
Side chick. It's good to feel na ka.
Kasi nakalagay sa board. May nakalagay sa board.
Hindi na natin expose.
So, ayun. Ano bang haba na nito Bale.
Sana
Communication, effort, love language.
Love language. And
Oo, basta-
really talk it out with your partner.
powerful talaga communication.
Yes.
And dapat
Effort.
alam.
Effort din.
Effort, yes. So yun, sana nakatulong yung advice.
Medyo,
Okay.
kahit medyo tagal.
Oo.
Paikot-ikot tayo ng ganun Wala.
Okay.
Susunod naman.
Next,
Anonymous sender number 4.
Sender
I was
number
in
4.
denial for so long na I find the same gender attractive. Growing up in a very Christian household, grabe yung panglait at negative outlooks ng family ko sa LGBTQ+. It started with the small, masama yan, sabi ni Lord, to I'll disown you kapag nalaman kong tomboy ka. It scared me a lot thinking they'd rather have me get pregnant early than having a tomboy for a daughter. Kaya every time I find a girl attractive, I'll convince myself na it's just a girl crush. Not until I encountered this one senior in my high school. She was heavenly. She was just gorgeous. At first, I thought, it's just a girl crush. Pero hindi I get butterflies when I see her and I literally feel my cheeks burn when she talks to me or even get near. I got so scared na may crush ako sa babae and so distracting myself with boys was the only option I could think of. She's definitely my gay awakening. Seeking help from queer friends and they made me realize that it's okay and that it won't hurt finding the same gender attractive or having feelings. It was a long, confusing journey I had to have to know my sexuality, and I'm proud to say I'm bi.
That's so
Anonymous
nice.
sender number 4.
Tsaka, that's a very good, papakita ng compet. Alam mo ba yung compet?
Ano yung compet?
Compet. Yung, di ko matanda ko ng meaning, compet. Ayun, back to you, na-search na namin ulit. Kasi nakalimutan namin yung meaning. So, yung compet, according to Google, it's when,
compulsory heterosexuality.
Is, ikaw magbasa?
Compulsory heterosexuality is a theory that heterosexuality is assumed and enforced upon people by patriarchal and heteronormative society. So parang in this situation, it's like you're forcing yourself to
think
that you're straight. Parang
kasi nga sa patriarchy and heteronormative societal ideologies na ganun, na parang straight ka. Usually kasi din yun yung ganyan kasi talaga root ano siya, yung kasama sila ng internal homophobia, yung lahat yun anong tawag doon? Magkakasama sila. Kasi connected sila. Kasi nga, parang pinipilit niya yung pag-iisip na other than being heterosexual, mali na yun. Tama ba yung pagsasabi ko?
Na parang, yung being homosexual is like wrong. Ganun yung mindset niya, kumbaga.
Oo.
Doon sa term na comp-het or compulsory heterosexuality. Ang daming handful kasi ng word.
It's great na over time you found out nga na what your actual sexuality is, and yay, it's a win.
It's also good that your friends actually help you and also are supportive. So at least you're in a good and healthy environment and social space.
Tsaka yung finally na accept and nahanap mo yung self mo talaga. Na who you. I mean, pwede naman siya mag-change over time. Pero right now, what matters is na you found your self in that moment.
Nick Nelson moment.
Yes, Nick Nelson. Oo nga, no!
Diba?
Similar!
Actually, okay, ako nga ganun din siya. Kasi parang iniisip, parang may ganun din siya mindset na parang it's in a way ina-avoid niya, but like hindi niya ma-avoid yung mismong feelings niya whenever he's with Charlie Spring. Anyways,
parang si nga, I mean, yung Nana is a good representation. Nana is a good representation ng compet.
Yeah.
Pero kahit
yung
strawberries sila ni Hachi pati ni Nana. Yun. I mean, hindi naman siya ganong film, pero in my mind, I believe.
Canon
siya sa utak ko.
Okay. Anonymous caller number 5. So, hi. Ever since I was a kid, I subconsciously knew that I like girls too. But because of how widespread heteronormativity is in this country, I kept pushing that part of my identity to the side. If it weren't for the internet, I wouldn't explore and accept that side for myself. Of myself pala. Anyhow, even at this point, I still don't know what label I belong in. Dati, I used to identify as ace, but I'm not so sure if I fit in that label anymore because I feel like I could identify as bisexual or pansexual. I'm just not so sure which one, pero alam ko sa sarili ko na I like both girls and boys. So now I'm unlabeled. But even if I'm finally certain with my own label, how can I even come out, or when will I come out? Kasi as far as I know, my family is homophobic, and I don't know if kung dumating yung time na nag-come out ako sa kanila, i-accept nila ako. What do you think ba?
Okay. There's like a lot of things
Yeah.
to unpack here. Like a lot of things to process.
Firstly, yung label. Honestly, I think na labels are just like
Labels.
Labels.
Kasi love is love.
Love is
Love who
love.
you want.
Yeah, parang it just identifies you, pero you as a person shouldn't like
Feel parang pressure
Forced,
to put a label to
pressure
yourself.
to label talaga yourself. Kasi you can still be exploring pa naman experimenting with yourself kung ano ba talaga ang gusto mo, who do you wanna be, like applies din sa life. So ayun, parang hindi mo naman kailangan magkaroon talaga ng label at that point, pero if you really want to anong sabihin ko?
Like, take your time lang.
Take
You don't
your
need to
time.
force
Yeah.
it kasi. You don't need to rush. Like, identifying
it will
or
come to you
labeling.
naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ganun.
Like, yung previous na nagka-awakening siya.
Mm-mm.
Maybe, no. Pero,
Yeah.
pero yun nga, it takes a long time pa naman kasi there are still people na who come to terms with their sexuality matatanda na. Hindi naman lahat at like anong age natin? Like adolescents, hindi lahat adolescents. May mga kids at an early age na nalaman na nila with their self, mga matatanda, mga yung middle-aged people. Ganon. It's just through time malalaman mo talaga siya.
Kasi nga, like we said, like it's very fluid, it evolves, and
Constantly changing.
Yes.
Yeah.
kaya just, you don't need to rush it. It doesn't have a
Sure.
deadline.
Oo.
Pero kung,
Hindi siya assignment.
No, like yung assignment, like yung mga juice na.
pero like, if it,
Relax lang kayo.
or if you think it helps you,
Then
like labeling yourself and identifying yourself, wag mo lang i-force. And
Yeah.
wag mo lang,
Find yourself. Try to
Don't-
find yourself.
don't beat yourself up over it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be unhealthy.
Mhm.
Like,
Tapos
may-
parang madi-discourage ka.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like if
Parang,
you have, kung may issues ka pa sa family mo, wag mo muna isipin yun. Isipin mo muna yung sa
Sarili
sarili
mo.
mo, like, be confident muna, or like, be
sure
Sure,
sa sexuality.
sa sexuality and or gender mo bago mo isipin kung paano yung sa parents mo. And if ever nga, like you said, if like, as far as you know, homophobic yung family mo, it's hard talaga. It depends on the situation, case to case basis. Like, we don't know your families
Family,
naman talaga. So we may not be able to give a solid advice. Just yung solid lang, I guess, na advice na pwede namin i-share is
Yun nga, yung ganun.
sa sarili mo muna,
Sa sarili
mo
mo
i-start
muna.
bago mo isipin yung sa family mo. And para hindi ka mabaliw or masira pa mental health ka.
Oo nga.
Real.
Real. Okay.
Okay.
Number, I lost track. Basta anonymous. Number 6. Thank
Number
you.
6 na.
Hi, fellow budding here. Actually, I had my...
Wala.
Actually, I had my first gay awakening when I found myself having this weird feeling of jealousy nung una kung nalaman na may ka-MU crush ko noon. Akala ko nung una may gusto ako sa ka-MU niya. Pero the more I looked at it, I was confused as to why I hyperfixated too much on the girl. Ha 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 ha. Doon na nagsimula yung, do I want to be her or do I want to be with her?
Wala, hindi ko gets.
Hindi,
yung
kasi
parang-
siya, nalilito daw siya, ba't siya nagsiselos, di ba?
Sa MU.
Dun sa...
Yung crush niya. May
Oo.
ka-MU yung crush niya.
Oo.
Tapos
Oo.
nagsiselos siya dun sa ka-MU.
Wait, ka-MU niya yung boy?
Crush niya lang, crush niya lang.
May ka-MU siya.
Crush niya yung boy.
Siguro,
Boy
we can't,
ba? We don't
say.
we can't
May
say.
crush siya sa tatlong tao involved. Tapos yung
Oo.
isa, kumari si main caller, and then
Main
MU,
caller.
and then yung...
Crush.
Girl.
Yung crush!
Yung
Oo.
crush.
Oo. So, explain po nung PD ni Kasi medyo nalito kami tatlo.
Okay, so there's si sender, siya yung nag-send niya. Tapos meron siyang crush noon na hindi ko i-assume yung
Gender.
Gender.
pero let's say different gender.
Mm-mm.
Different gender ni sender. Tapos yung crush niya, meron siyang ka-MU na same
girl.
gender ng sender.
Mm-mm.
Tapos sabi niya, meron siyang nagsaselo siya dun sa ka-MU ng crush niya.
Oo.
Pero mali pala. Nagsaselo siya sa crush niya kasi crush niya yung
Oo.
MU.
Ayun.
Gender.
Yun kaya yung,
Gender.
do I want to be her or do I want to be with her?
Kasi kaya niya pinagsasalosan niya yung place nung
Nung lalaki. Ay, nung girl.
Nung girl. Oo.
Tapos, yun pala, kung sinasalosan mo
Yeah.
yung place
Medyo
nung girl or nung
relatable.
MU.
Medyo, hindi ko alam. Not me, hindi ko alam. Hindi ko sure.
Okay, anonymous.
Medyo natagalan kami doon.
Okay. Oh, paikot-ikot kami. Anyways, anonymous sender number 7. I'm queer. I don't like to label myself. I tried confessing to my girl crush. She is cisgendered and is definitely so straight. Anyway, I tried confessing to her on Instagram and the only reply I got was, hindi ako mahilig sa TBH. Hindi ko alam kung tatawa ako or feel down that I got rejected. Lol. I think it's a funny story.
Ako din. Medyo natawa.
Natawa
Pero
din
na-
ako. I was reading it. Napaano yung
Yung
eyebrows ko.
ano kasi, magkaka-reply lang. Yung hindi ako mahilig sa dude.
Yung, magigets mo kaya nila yun?
Kasi
It's a term
alam nila yan.
na ano.
Basta
Alam
it's
nila
not like
Hindi ako may Ganun.
Basta ano.
Makakala is ano natin.
Hindi, ay sorry. Hindi
Yung,
po.
basta it's, you can't say it's.
Sa ano.
Baka ma-SDFU po.
Oo nga.
Baka may SFU kami.
Hindi ako mahilig sa.
Hindi namin pwede masabi. Basta, imagine niyo na lang kung anong pwedeng sabihin dun.
Oo.
Okay?
Basta in a way, kaya siya sinabi niya, to be honest, din niya daw alam kung matatawa daw siya or ma-feel daw. Kasi, in my perspective,
Nakakatawa siya, pero
parang ang offensive din.
offensive.
Oo,
na,
pero ma-feel
Yung
down daw
word.
siya kasi na-reject siya. Like, okay.
Parang the word is so
Wrong. Parang wrong.
Parang ano nung word?
Yung choice of wording
Choice
lang
of
talaga.
wording nung
Oo.
ano.
It's like it could be taken as a humor, but at the same time,
Depende
it can
naman
be
din sa
negative
relationship
also.
nila. Baka
Yes.
naman mahilig lang sila mag-ano.
So last,
Okay.
second to the last. Ay,
Hindi,
last
wag na
na.
yung- yeah, last.
Sorry.
I came out to my parents 3 years ago. They did not take it well. For a few months after that, I was subjected to hours-long religious classes that taught me that was wrong. Yung, being queer.
Yeah.
Queer. I still live in fear every day and wish to escape my household soon.
Wow, okay. Medyo dark siya compared sa last
Previous story.
I'm so sorry na
Mm-hmm.
yun yung napagdaanan nyo. And, you know, mahirap talaga kapag sobrang religious pa. Aside pa sa religious, yung pagiging homophobic pa ng family. Like, grabe yung inano daw siya hours-long religious classes. And I think that,
Parang sakit nun.
yeah, religion should not be forced
Upon someone, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't, ewan ko parang ang mali nun. Alam niyo yung yung sa America, yung kidnap yung mga bata, tapos sila, may camp sila, ganun. Parang ganun yung,
scary nun.
like,
Kasi
well,
tao naman.
yeah,
Tao
din
pa
sila.
naman rin yung
Hindi naman
tao.
sila, parang ang wrong lang for me na, kahit sabihin mong, yung hours-long religious classes lang siya, it's still so draining. Lalo na kung hindi ka pa super religyoso, no? No, yung hours long na yun.
Parang kasi madidrain ka din and it's gonna be so unhealthy for you.
And also
and your mind.
Your mindset.
So,
But it drives you more further away from...
further away
Oh.
from their, di man na sinabi ko ang religion
Yeah.
nila.
Yeah.
So their,
Beliefs.
their beliefs. Tsaka, parang, yun nga, may negative feelings na siguro sila sa religion na yun.
Yeah.
Kahit hindi naman, wala namang ginawa yung religion sa kanila.
Oo.
Yung taong nag-force lang sa kanila. So, sana makaalis ka na nga dyan sa household na yan. Kasi that sounds so mentally exhausting.
I guess what I hope for this anonymous
Sender.
sender is to find a support group, a
Support
system,
Support system.
like a friends or community that may be able to help that person.
Mm-mm.
So yun lang kasi right now it's not like we can
Yeah, we can...
Reach out.
to you
Oo.
and help right now
Oo.
unless you wanna message the
The
somehow. If only you're willing,
Only you're willing.
we can try to
Yeah.
help.
Wishing you safety.
Yeah.
Safety and
Our heart goes to you, and I hope na yung situation mo, it gets better. Kasi, yun nga, I don't want you to think na being queer is bad because of your experience. Yung, sadyang yung environment lang talaga, yung mali. I'm sorry for you. Okay?
Yes.
So, yun.
So that's
That's that. Last of the LGBT stories.
Yes.
And that finally concludes
That's our final
episode. Ano to? For
For
now.
now. Kasi there's
ba,
news na
season
baka
2?
next
Oh, baka daw.
Baka next term
May
namin.
season 2
Good luck.
kami. And baka hindi nyo alam, magbalik ang mga guests namin.
Or we may
Or-
get guests from maybe outside of school
Outside.
or outside of class.
Hindi nyo alam,
outside
maybe.
our friend group.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kasi ako dito.
Kasi hindi po kami,
Magkakakalala.
hindi po kami
Kasi lang kami
social.
lahat.
Oo.
So, ayun.
Just to wrap this up, this episode, once again, thank you so much for our guest today, Patty.
Thank you so much for coming here
Yes.
and making
Basa-basa.
our
Ang basa.
oo, and basa-basa and
Episode.
making, you know,
Reactions.
reactions.
Yes.
You know, at least with you here, the episode has become so much more enjoyable. Hindi ko naman sinasabing boring.
Baka kasi masawa na kayo sa aming dalawa ni Ana. Sabihin nyo lang magpapalit ka.
You're sure.
Substitute.
So, ayun, thank you for making this episode so much more insightful with your
Yes.
comments and suggestions to our viewers, especially with the LGBTQ stories. And yeah,
Yes.
I
So,
guess
to be here.
that
concludes
our third episode. Final episode
Final
as of
episode,
today.
yes.
As of now. Again, this episode talks about the LGBTQ plus representations in
the
media. Yeah.
So, I guess since this is our final episode for our informational campaign, we hope to sana naman give us support and
In
likes,
our-
comments, shares.
In our FB page,
Yes.
badingkaba, and
And
our IG
IG
page na badingkaba, but the handle is bkb.podcast.
Yes.
Please stay tuned on updates and informations about our campaign, and also please await our publication materials na magto-talk about yung mga sexuality
Yes.
and yeah,
And
oh,
whatever happens next in the
Future.
after this episode.
for this campaign.
Yes.
Yes. So ayun.
Mag-thank
So-
tayo. We would also like to thank
We would also like to thank
scriptwriters, researchers, tagagawa ng mga
Yes.
pub.
Pubmats!
Actually, yes.
And
Ang galing niya gumawa ng
Pubmats! Makikita nyo lagi.
And
Again,
we also would like to thank our
PD
Nimries. yung dalawa na wala.
nawala yung
Then
dalawa.
we'd like to thank
Ayan
everyone.
siya.
We'd like to thank everyone also who has been supporting our
Yeah.
pages, liking and sharing.
Thank you so much, especially our ambassadors who's so dedicated to
Yes,
sharing
shout out
our
sa mga
posts.
Shout out sa inyo.
Ayun, thank you so much for yung mga hindi naman ambassadors pero like at heart pa rin. Thank you so much
you
for
for the
your support. And especially to you, our viewers, na nakikinig pa rin hanggang ngayon sa
Ayun.
dulo.
Oo nga. Sana naman, no?
Sana
Diba?
nagustuhan niyo yung in-person podcast.
Yes.
Sana if ever in the future we'll host this kind of settings more.
Yep, correct.
Para wala nang internet issues.
Anyways,
So once again, this is your host, Ryu Tasua.
And I'm Ana Avalon from the House of
Kayanan,
bringing you information about the LGBTQ plus community. Good
Good
day, everyone!
Bye-bye!
I'm Patty.
Ana,
And
And Yuta.
And I'm